All right, my name is Professor DeFrance. Welcome back. This is designed for students in my English 102 class at Cerritos. Every class is a little different in the way it's constructed. So this is the way ours is going to look here. So of course is our front page. There are a number of ways that you can look at the course. I know students like to look at the course through the assignment page, which I have set up and made um, you know, user friendly. So I think that it should be pretty easy to follow how things are organized there. Well, here, I'll just show you where things are, right? So you got your essays in order, mini essays there, summaries in order. We have our discussion posts. I may have to add one thing up there. That way, sorry. The research paper, extra credit. Just realizing that I was in the middle of something, but did go back and finish that. I will be adding the discussion posts up here in a minute. You'll see them like in the grade book and on the module page, but I'm going to add them there as well. On the module page, that's really the best place to look for the course itself and any basic questions you have about it. So let's go ahead and take a look at what you have here. I'll switch this to student view so we can take a look at what you should see here. So you have an introduction. I'm going to put this introduction right here underneath the introduction to myself. You have your syllabus, your calendar that tells you when everything is due. Readings keeps you on track of when you want to read certain things, what videos you want to watch at certain times. There's a collection of video lectures like this one here. This is, well, not much of a lecture, but this would, I guess, technically qualify, right, as a video lecture. Mostly those are when I'm going over like content, and there's a lecture narrative component on top of that. Your frequently asked questions, you know what those are. That's a good place to start when you're first getting introduced to the course. So make sure to give that a quick read. It's very short, as those are. With Unit 1, you'll find that this one is the only one that really combines a couple things. It's only because they're all really small and short things. So if we can fit them all in this little unit here, it works rather well. So lit theory. Now, why we want to start there is because the introduction that we're going to give you to that gives you the tools you need to analyze the literature that we're going to look at in the course. We'll take a look at the pre-classical Western literature period. And the photo essay is what we'll start with. So the photo essay is a really short and fun and easy narrative essay. We're going to open with that. Basically, you're just going to create a photo essay about the last year or so of your life. You know, what has your pandemic 2020 experience been like? And can you narrate that in a an effective, descriptive way? We have a couple other small assignments with this first unit of study. Every week there's going to be a discussion, as is required in the this format, and the summary. And there will be like occasional, like it basically breaks down to like every 2 weeks or so. There's a summary assignment as well. We have samples. Sometimes I'll put the samples right underneath the essay. In this case, there are a bunch of them, so just to avoid any confusion there, I just gave them their own little subsection there. Literary theory as well. There's, I think this is a lecture I put together and then a link. The photo essay, I could probably take that prompt off because that's already stated there. Anyway, these are mostly just examples and also things about how to write photo essays. This section ends with a look at the pre-classical period, introducing you to, among other things, mainly the Epic of Gilgamesh, because that's like kind of like the first story in Western literature that has survived. And then some videos for Unit 1. Move on to Unit 2. This is on the classical Greek period, essentially like the, well, here I can bring it up here. But it does include the Golden Age of Greece, of course. This period includes the Homeric classical Roman period and the patristic period. There's some real classic stuff here. The assignments, though, are mainly to prep you for the upcoming essay, like the first real literary essay. Lecture stuff, basically, like how to analyze any type of literature. And we have some readings. Mainly, we're focusing on some of the classics, like the best playwrights of this period, Euripides and Sophocles, and Virgil's Aeneid is, one of the all-time classics. Some videos there related to the classical period. Then we have the medieval period, where we're going to continue to prep for the essay. So although this is its own period itself, just like the last one here, there is actually no essay in this period. We're doing summary work. We're doing lots of reading and discussion posts to get ready for the next essay, which is coming up. So we have some smaller assignments there. We have our readings here, mainly in the medieval period. You're looking at, Dante, maybe Boccaccio, would be some of the classics there. In the Renaissance, you have the essay, right? This is their first literary essay, which is essay 2. Just checking our time there. Let's see, this is on, we're going to use the prints to analyze the work of, or the speeches of, Robespierre. And if we want to go back to this document here, we're looking at basically the prints, right, which is an early Tudor work in the Renaissance. And we're going to use that as a lens to analyze the work and the speeches of Maximilien Robespierre, which occurred in the Age of Johnson, the end of the Enlightenment era, leading up to the French Revolution, leading up to and including the French Revolution. So we're looking at, how does this piece, which is basically, a disgraced political advisor at that time, he was in exile when he wrote The Prince, but how does this inspire, and how do we see reflections of, among other things, the kind of social attitudes that we see in the speeches of Maximilien Robespierre. And there's a sample literary analysis there. In this section, we're also doing a summary of the Oscar Wilde, The Importance of Being Earnest, which is a setup for, I think, one of the next major assignments. Discussion post, kind of checking in. By this point, I think we're done with this book. Gives you about, I want to say, a couple. I'll check the time on that. I guess I should, but at least a month to read that. Maybe a little bit more. We have a discussion post. Not much else that you have to do in this period. We're mainly working on that essay there and those smaller writing assignments. There's some relevant readings there. Highly recommend Of Studies. It's a classic. And this latter section here tells you how to write a rhetorical analysis, which if you've been in any of my classes, you already know that by this point. You know how to write those. But if you are not familiar with them, that gives you a very solid introduction. That's just how we would do it in, say like an English 100 course. It gives you that solid introduction to what is rhetorical analysis. And then the next essay is actually going to be also the same type of essay. This one here is a rhetorical, this one's not rhetorical. Sorry, I'm realizing I have to move that rhetorical section to where it actually belongs. We'll get to that then. I'll have to move that around. So the Enlightenment period, is next. We have our rhetorical analysis. Here's where we're going to see that part about rhetorical analysis. I'll just move that down there. So that's what that essay 3 is. We're going to choose either a work of Edgar Allan Poe or a work by Oscar Wilde, particularly like The Importance of Being Earnest, for example. We have some summary work on Poe's Cask of Amontillado, discussion on The Black Cat, things of that nature. Sample essay, which will be a sample rhetorical analysis essay, and then just to make it extra clear, this is usually how these look, right? You got your period here, so I usually have like an assignment header. I'll put that in there, and then your readings. You got your readings and your videos, which are there for each section. In the Romantic period, we're going to bring in poetry because there's a lot of poetry there, although we do also look at poetry in the modern era a little bit as well. The essay for this one is a continuation, not a continuation, but it's the same type of essay, same style. We're going to do it shorter, and we're going to compare two shorter works. It's a good way to explain it. This one, of course, is a hint to modern literature. Some of the way in which these were organized, we end up getting to the essay, while we're still technically in the Romantic period. This is a more modern topic. Just by the way, I had to organize things so that there, not anything going on at the same time. This one, Poe and Wilde. Let's see, looking at a Romantic and Victorian. Right, so instead of looking at someone in that section, we're actually like looking at Romantic and Victorian there. So as you can see, we're getting to all the periods. They don't exactly maybe match up with, this theme, But anyway, I did that just to make sure it spaced out well. But pretty simple section there. We're doing a mini essay, summary, some just smaller discussion posts, your readings, videos. Mainly we're focusing on, the work of Poe, and also in the reading section, you'll see a lot of poetry of the Romantic era. In the Victorian era, of course, there's lots of good writing there. The stuff in the readings here, actually, if we look at the assigned readings, that probably actually gives you a better idea of what we're looking at there. That fits thematically there. Matthew Arnold, Browning, Twain, all these people are classic Victorian. So we have the Oscar Wilde play right there. That is something that we'll be writing about in some different places. I know it's one of the summary assignments. Videos. Okay, and then we have our postmodern section. Everything here kind of lines up nicely. All the discussions are modern. The summaries are on modern pieces, as well as the essay itself. In this last essay, we're going to basically take the novel